Thank you so much for stopping in. This is a continuation of the intuition building series that we've been doing. Basically, what I do is I shuffle a deck of cards, of oracle cards generally. And then we pick it, we look at it, and I'm giving you what my initial reactions are, my initial impressions, and then, but I'll hold it up so that you can see it, see what you get from the card. Just your initial reaction, your initial, not the picture. So this is what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you this card. It is an oracle card, and it doesn't matter what's on the card, what the words are. That doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter what the picture is. It matters what is the first thing that you see. What's your first impression? If it's a color, if it's kind of an activity, if it's just something that you see. Because it can be obscure. It can, like some of them were, there was a little tiny white dot, and that's what I see on that day, what I see first. And when I say on that day, it could be different tomorrow. It's depending on your question. It depends on what message you're needing to get. So that when I say it, it can be different tomorrow, it can be, because whatever the question is, whatever the intention is that you're wanting to get some answers to, it'll be different, because the picture is just the modality that we're using to get our intuition working. Okay, so this is the card. That's the first card. So don't look at the card. What do you see? What's the first thing you see? What was interesting is the first thing I see is whatever this is. There's something going on right here. See, it's almost like moving up. That's really interesting to me. I'm sorry I didn't give you much time to look at the picture, but that really stuck out at me right now. Then you move from that point on. Yes, there's a girl, there's a female standing here, but she has a book in her hand. Now that book can mean knowledge. That book can mean determination. That book can mean a distraction. I mean, any of those things can be whatever the first thing that comes to your head, the first thing that comes to your mind is what I want you to think about. So I'll hold this up just another minute. And then, of course, now that you've picked out the first two things, you see, obviously, there's a book on the floor. Or to me, it looks like a book on the floor. Why would there be a book on the floor? What's your question? Did you throw something out? Are you missing something? Is there something you're missing? Have you tossed out something that could be useful? Then there's also a butterfly. I think that's a butterfly. It looks like a butterfly. Yeah. Butterfly is transformation, can mean transformation. So your first impression, my first impression was whatever that is. That to me, I mean, my first thought is information. There's some kind of energy coming, but it's also at her back. It's a her. I mean, it's also at your back. If I'm reading it for somebody else, you've got some information, but you've turned your back on it, and you've also are leaving something out. That's possibly what it is. Okay, so then I thought this would be interesting, is what's the next card? Okay, so the next card's this one. Yeah. That's interesting. It's first impression, dark, light. Dark and light. The difference between darkness and lightness. The difference between the dark, unknowing, the question you might have, You don't know what the question is. You don't know where you stand. You don't know what you're thinking. You don't know where you stand, let's say, in a relationship. You don't know where to look next. This is just my first impressions. I haven't looked at these cards for a long time. And then you're seeking the light. You're seeking the answers. You're seeking the clarification. You're seeking the light for answers. You're just seeking the enlightenment. Depends on what it is. I know I keep saying it depends on what it is, but that's what my first impressions of this card are. After that, you look a little closer, you can look around, but and so then when you match it up with this card, I'm going to mix them up. So when you're mixing it up with this card, this almost follows with my first impressions. Is something is happening, you're seeking the light, it's to your back, which is the darkness. You've got some resources in your hand. You've also thrown some aside, or you haven't considered all of the information that you can get. And then there's also the transformation. So you have the darkness transforming into light. You've got the knowledge transforming into figuring out what information you have at hand, and what information that is not necessarily at hand, but it is close by and you can utilize. You just maybe need to seek a little bit more for some information. And so in this video, I decided let's just put two together and kind of read them together. I shuffled the cards. These are the first two that came up, and that's my first impression. You need to practice the first impression. I'll hold these up again so you can either get a screenshot of it. And here's the other one. And just practice. Practice. If you don't have a set of oracle cards, maybe consider getting a set, or use these that I'm giving you. Thank you so much for stopping in. I hope you like these. Please like and share my videos and subscribe to my channel. If you would like a personal session, please contact me at theunlikelychanneler@gmail.com, and stay tuned because there's a lot more to come.